Hey guys, welcome to another episode of A Talking Dead Guy. And today we are doing a special interview with some of the cast from the Batman Damned remastered recasting. It is a project I did a couple years ago on the channel when I was first starting out. I didn't have anybody with me, so I kind of just did all this on my own and did all the reading on my own. And because I was very much in love with the story and started learning more about it afterwards, I decided to reboot it and just kind of went into the Discord and asked everybody who would be interested in basically taking a role on this. And the first one to jump onto it was Finbarr. And man, I got in my DMs. He blew up my DMs like, hey, listen, I can do a really good, English accent depending on the region, what region you're looking for. And I'm all like, generic, I don't really care, and then he just sent me a couple lines and I was sold. So that started the whole project. And with us we have Raina Muddy Waters. You guys might remember her as Belladonna. She's several personalities we're sifting through. She picked up the role of Enchantress, which she kind of gave it she gave her like this piratey, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of really cool, like a cool little accent that kind of sets it off from anything else she's done for me so far. So, without further ado, and as a matter of fact, I can get rid of this background, and I wanted to, there we go. I went ahead and downloaded my version so we could have it sort of scrolling in the background while we talk about it. I figured that's kind of appropriate, right? No audio, just kind of have the images going as we go. So Finbarr, we'll start with you because I've worked with Raina a lot and she's been on here several times and everybody's pretty familiar with her. First of all, I guess the first interesting question for me would be that what inspired you and what made you think that you could nail this Constantine for me better than anybody else I've been working with, and of course better than mine because
That's why, because I heard, so this one you've got running in the background is the video you did, the original one, right?
Yeah.
So I had to listen to it, and with all due respect to you, dead guy, you were way off. I know, I know you gave it your best, but
no, I didn't.
So I've lived. Obviously, I'm not from the part of England or part of Britain that John Constantine's from. I'm from Scotland, but I have lived in the south east of England for 12 years. With the military, so I was within 20 miles of where this guy is based out of. So I've been around that accent for years, and landing on the accent was quite hard because the character grew up in Liverpool. I don't know if you know what a Scouse accent sounds like.
A little bit, yeah, right? A little bit. So
I was either going to have to go with a Scouse accent or a Cockney accent. There was no way I was going to be able to do a hybrid of the two. So just going off of the one I knew best, I thought I'll stick to. I'll kind of disregard this as growing up in Liverpool, and I'll go with the Cockney one because it's easier. And to be honest with you, everybody who's done them in live action or done them in animations never done them properly anyway. It's to
be honest with you, that's who I was impersonating, was the animated versions for that familiarity.
So the animated one probably got the closest. That's Matt Ryan, right? So
yeah, he's all right. He's not exactly, but he did.
He's Welsh, so he's not close to Liverpool or close to Cockney. So I thought we'll do him Cockney. We'll do him as close to how Alan Moore intended him to be anyway. Because I think the character grew up in Liverpool and then left at 18 or 16 or 18, so he's had enough time living there to have formed his accent. But most of his adult life was spent in London, so I thought we'll ditch the whole Liverpool thing and we'll just go straight up Cockney. And I think we're all right with that. I think everybody can accept it, especially going off of, like, we've had Keanu Reeves in the past and stuff, and people have forgiven that. So
did they?
I mean, if we look at it as an Elseworlds story, I forgive it. I think it was a great film, but I just couldn't take Keanu Reeves as a serious Constantine because he wasn't.
Well, my thing is
the movie.
It was a cool movie for what it was. My thing is my experience with Keanu through Bram Stoker's Dracula was his English accent,
but he wasn't playing him English.
It was bloody awful. So at that point,
he tried.
Why though? I'd have just been like, "You're from New York, just stop." You know what I mean? Like, let's just talk normal. That was just me though. I would have canceled that whole thing and been like, "You're awful, Winona. You're awful. Just speak normally. I can't do this." And they kind of just didn't even bother with Constantine because they knew, they were like, he can't do a British accent.
Well, he wasn't playing him British anyway. He was playing him as he's Canadian, but he was playing him as an American version of him, which I accepted just because it's a standalone movie. You screw your face up, but I mean, if you take it as an Elseworlds big guy, you know what I mean?
They're doing a sequel.
You can accept it.
Yeah, they're doing a sequel, unfortunately, which I'd have rather had the guy from the series because, to be honest with you, the series was okay. And
why not both? Why not both?
We got the multiverse. My thing is now you can see him in the bottom left corner if you look closely. And the only thing I didn't like about this version of Constantine was just artwork. I felt like they made him a little too older looking. Like he should have been a little bit younger in this one, I think. Then they kind of puffed him up a little. Where versus I would have seen Batman kind of just being a lot bigger than Constantine, period. I mean, Batman's like 6'3", 6'4", probably 220 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Like Constantine's just a dude. You know what I mean? Like a normal guy. So they did kind of puff him up a little bit in this particular case. And me being an artist, I pay a little too close attention to art. Like sometimes it can throw the character off. Now, as I was cutting this all together with yours, because the cool thing is Constantine starts the whole thing off. It's basically being narrated by Constantine in the original spoken dialogue.
Narrator. Yeah,
it was really cool to have your touch to it, man. Like, it's different because the last time I edited this, it was me. You know what I'm saying? It's just one long file of me, and then having to pause between characters and change my voice and shit. And it was a joy to have an actual person from UK pull off this accent and just your tone, man. Like you can tell you read the narration parts different than the spoken dialogue. And between the interactions between Batman and Constantine, the way you spoke when they were speaking to each other versus the narrative parts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I really dug how you did this.
It was deliberate. So I was trying to get it so that the narration is obviously in his head. And then when he's speaking, he's a lot more loose and fluid. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When I listened to your original one, your pace was quite quick, so I wanted to slow it down quite a bit as well. I don't really know how you wanted it paced. I thought maybe you're going to split it into 3 chunks and have it. Yeah, okay. Well, I see what you did with Black Panther, and I'm imagining you're going to do the same thing.
Pacing is good. I can usually, between sentences, I can cut the file and stretch it a little farther if I need to, depending on how you're speaking the pace. What I don't like to do is cut people off. Like if you can tell the next sentence is about to start immediately, I'll go ahead and follow your pace. But the pacing was great. I think by you watching the old one, you got the general idea of the dialogue pacing I was looking for. I used to go very quick. Like my pacing when I first started was almost like anime, where every set of dialogue was right after the next. And I watched a couple other people. If the Russian was here with us, I would say something. His pacing is very quick on his. Like each sentence is right after the next one. And I learned from that. I was like, slow it down a little. People don't talk like that. Even in the middle of a fight, in comics is the only place I've ever known where people have full-fledged conversations in the middle of beating the shit out of each other. But you know what I mean? You pace it out. You slow it down during natural dialogue and during narrations and let the scenes play. And people can kind of follow it a little better because that's how they think in their head, or that's how they speak with other people. So your pacing was perfect. I was impressed all the way. This was your first voice acting gig that you've done?
Yeah, I mean, I've done voices before, stupid things that are buried on Tony's channel, but yeah, this is the first and probably the only. No, to be fair, if you do 28 Days Later, I'll do as many Scottish voices as you need. But I mean, I can't do, my range is not great. I can't do convincing American so it'll be British only. If you need a Brit, come to me. I'll do you a Brit.
Well, no dude, you've got a bunch of Brits. Yeah, I can do like a regular generic British accent. It's convincing. It's not horrible, right? But when it's a character people are expecting, like if people are expecting a particular character in Constantine's case or Captain Britain's case, you get what I mean? I'd want to cast somebody for that because that's not generic. People are having some expectations there. But if it's just some Wayland Yutani guy from an Alien, yeah, I got that. That's not a fucking problem.
Yeah,
you know, plus it gives me the practice. I could use the practice on doing it myself anyway. This was an utter joy though. Like to go back and watch this old one, which I cringed through, and to know that my Batman has come such a long way since I recorded this one. You know, like it's honed. Like I've got this Kevin Conroy. I kind of impersonate Conroy a little bit where there's no growling. I'm not like, where's Rachel? We're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just drop the tone a little and then soften it for Bruce. You get what I mean? Like just talk a little softer and then just drop the pitch a little. For Batman, you know, just speak clearly.
Because before today, me and you never spoke face to face.
Yeah.
But you're editing us together, acting opposite one another in several scenes. So I'm stoked to see it, man. I don't know what anybody sounds like other than me in this whole thing.
Oh God. Okay. Shit, guys. I got bad news. And I didn't want to tell you live, and I forgot to tell you backstage.
Cancelled.
The other day when we were having the storms, apparently my computer updates overnight while I'm sleeping, so I don't have to fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not interrupting me while I'm working. Apparently we lost power or something during the update, so I woke up to blue screen, had to basically kind of roll my computer back, and something happened with one of my drives, my external drive, and my entire save folder, all my save files got corrupted.
Oh no.
So I have to start over on every edit that I've been working on.
Oh no.
So don't worry, Batman Damned was saved as a backup. So there is half of it is done. So I'm not starting completely from scratch. It's basically I have to reload Rain, I have to reload your lines back in. And then Okaden. I don't know if I ever say her name right. Okaden just got Martha's lines done. So I need to throw those in there. But other than that, luckily it saved the backup, but I do have to kind of start over on some of it. And I just wanted to let you guys know that that's just pushing it back even farther. I lost my Terminator I was working on. I was working on something for another channel. That file got lost. Like, I don't know, man. Either way, I deleted that whole drive. Everything's moved to Google Drive now. Everything's saved on a cloud. So there won't be any more problems with that in the future, but that does not help me right now. Oh shit, we've got Red Itty. I didn't see the P. Diddy picture. That cracked me up. My ancestors were Scottish, so that automatically puts Scotland over any other type of Brits.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. If I'm not mistaken, I think Colin is from England as well. But I guess England, Scotland is not the same. Yes, it does suck. But either way, at least it kind of reset the priorities. Like, at least I know what got screwed up and I know what's more important to work on versus just back burner a couple things. If that makes any sense. Like, I put a lot of Alien stuff out. And what I'd like to do is finish up Batman Damned, at least part 1. That's what I've been asking around, and everybody said, why don't you just edit it in parts? That way it's not one full video and you're not taking forever. Do it in 2 parts. So I'm going to go ahead and just edit the first part and put it out so you guys can see your work. I know Finbarr's excited. I know he is.
I can't wait. Yeah.
And dude, I'm telling you right now, the bouncing between the two, it's really good. It's really good.
If you just send me that snippet, Digga, just me and you going back and forth. I just want to hear that.
You know what?
Oh, that would be fabulous.
You know what? I'll grab where they're standing on the church.
Yeah.
And Constantine keeps finishing his sentences for him, and that way gets frustrated. That's my favorite part in the book. So
it's wild because me and you didn't act opposite each other. We just did it separately. That's why I love this process that you do. Because I wondered whether you were going to get everybody together to do it, but you don't. You do it all separate. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
That would be like, I'd love to do a live read or a table read. And
that'd be awesome.
Getting that many people together, it's like herding a bunch of cats with ADD that have been smoking crack. It's really hard, you know. Like, everybody's got their own schedule. Everybody's from different parts of the world. You know, it's really difficult. So I can't really expect that from people, and especially if I'm not paying anybody. You know, if I was throwing people $100 a job here and there, I'd be like, yeah, make the fucking table read. But you know, I can't really. And it would be fun, and it would be fun to record those and make that, you know, an option for, you know, members or somebody to come check out or watch or put it out later. But at the same time, I give it to people. We live in a modern world, digital recording. If you can use your imagination and you're reading the other line to yourself, you know, as a, you know, to respond, then a lot of people do well that way.
I used I used your actual recording to bounce off of.
No,
Which I
really,
had.
shit.
I had it to hand, so. But I want to hear your updated Batman.
Yeah, it is better. I will admit,
Yeah.
the original on this one was. I was still feeling it out. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
just now beginning to voice act because a lot of the other stuff I was just sort of doing audiobook style, ASMR. I didn't want to scream at people. I didn't want to yell at people. I didn't want explosions and shit going off. And it turns out, well, that's what people wanted. So I slowly started voice acting. You know, people were like, don't be afraid to show some emotion or don't be afraid to yell when the character's yelling. So I was like, if that's what you want, I mean, I can scream. And then after that, I just slowly started, let's play the character instead of just reading the character. And so this is early, you know, and I think after the one Dark Knight, after Gotham Nocturne, I just kind of came into it. I was, watching the chat and paying attention to people's feedback. Some of the people that are friends with me started saying stuff like, man, you've got a Conroy vibe. Like it doesn't sound exactly like him, but it's got that vibe. And dude, that gave me chills. That's one of the best compliments anybody could give me, even if it doesn't sound just like it. You know, I'm just like, well, that's not what I was going for, but yes, I will take that. I want to kind of keep it the same, but also evolve, you know, get better with it, make sure the voice is exactly the same every time I go to it. And speaking of which, Raina had to step way the fuck out of her comfort zone. I know she did. So let's talk about it, because I know we talked a little in the DMs with direction. And I think I screenshot Calypso from Pirates of the Caribbean, didn't I? And was like, try to get this kind of vibe if you can. I don't know why I'm hearing it, but I think it would just sort of set her different than other people. And hey, Colin. Colin, thank you for joining. Welcome to the Horde, man. Welcome to the Horde. And I'm going to go ahead and apologize about the member-only content right now. That's all I got to say. Anyway, anybody that joins, sometimes there's some old stuff in there that I'm like, maybe I should delete that. You know, maybe I should delete that.
Yeah, that when you sent me that, I'm like, oh God, how can I do this? Because I never watched any of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So I have I've watched a few clips. That's it. So trying to get to that character mindset was interesting. So I mean, I didn't look anything up. I just went with it. So
well, damn. Okay, I assumed that everyone has seen the Pirates of the Caribbean films. We can't be friends anymore. You have to watch them. No, I'm totally kidding. But not knowing the character at all, and then to be able to kind of just pull off what, I mean, Naomi Harris is a goddess, and she is so talented at what she does. For you to be able to kind of watch a snippet and then turn around and pull that shit off was like, okay, I'm impressed. I didn't expect it to sound as good as it did, to be honest with you.
Oh, thank you.
What's up? Random's in this with us, guys.
Random.
He actually, we are on the scene right now as a matter of good timing, brother. Good timing. He's playing Entrigan in this. And I don't know if you guys read it, but the way they did Entrigan is he's always Entrigan. So he everybody knows he's Jason Blood, right? But he's always in demon form. And he's a fucking rap artist who owns a nightclub, which is fucking cool as fuck to me, man. So me and him I threw together some old early 90s hip hop beat and kind of made it creepy. I put the Nightmare on Elm Street piano tune to it. And he took all the bubbles of the rap and made an actual rap out of it. So we actually got a track that's going to be playing during this whole scene. And I'm not lying. It's really good.
We've heard it, right?
It's really good.
We have heard it, yeah?
Huh?
You've dropped it already. We've heard it, haven't we?
I think no. I did not drop that yet. No.
I heard something.
There's no way I would have done that. I think I sent it to you and possibly the Russian. I think I sent you guys a copy just to check out the original.
Just us.
And that was the old one.
Right.
We've got a new one that's even better. Like the mix is even better. And that's pretty cool that he popped up right when his scene. That was really good timing, man. I wish he could have joined us today, but that's okay. That's okay. He is here with us now. And man, his Entrigan, the way he speaks his lines and stuff, you would have no idea that was random too. I'm pretty excited that everybody Elixir did Harley, and she pretty much Tara Strong. Basically, if you were to string Tara Strong out on meth for like 3 years, nailed it. Nailed it. Like, I don't know if you know the Harley scene, but she's so unhinged in this comic, dude. Like, she lost it because Joker's dead, right? And she's blaming Batman. And instead of just outright killing him, she literally tries to, assault him in a sexual sense. And it's insane that he's hitting her and beating her. She's saying, do it more, hit me more, don't stop, beat me till I'm dead. And Batman's like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it's so unhinged. Like, and she nailed it. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, man. She goes from being like cute and flirty and kind of sexual to crying and just kind of losing her fucking mind to laughing her ass off. I'm like, okay, I guess I did the right casting there. And the Russian we're on his part now, as a matter of fact. He's doing the Spectre. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Russian Comic Book Geek. If not, you should be. He's the single biggest comic book dub guy that I've run into contact with. Like, I found him about a year ago, watched his stuff, and got so intimidated and so like discouraged because he was so good at what he was doing. I almost quit. I was like, no, fuck, I didn't realize other people were this good at this. Like, and I had a bunch of other channels say, you should reach out. And I joined his membership, was like, dude, I'd love to collab with you sometime. We've been working together since. He's really, really supportive. And for extra credit, he went ahead and just read Swamp Thing. So I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? I got the Spectre, so I was putting them lines, and I was like, what is all this at the end? And I pressed play, and he's got this. He did effects on his voice and everything for Swamp Thing, dropped his pitch and everything. And he kind of gave him this Irish accent, which is cool. But I was like, isn't he from Holland originally? Like, but his last name was Holland. I thought he was a Swedish guy from back in the day, if I remember correctly. He was a Swedish doctor. So I'm not sure if I'll use it or not. But he was just like, take it or leave it. I just figured I'd do some extra credit for you. So now it's like, do I want him as the Spectre or do I want him as Swamp Thing? So it's kind of like up in the air. Maybe I'll play you guys a sample in Discord. I'll share a clip with you guys and see what you guys think. Like,
we'll let you know.
Yeah, because it's like I was planning on doing it because I thought the Swamp Thing from the original was not a bad way to do that. You slow the pitch down and make him talk really slow, and adding in the tree growing and vine sounds. It just kind of like adds to it, So we'll see. Let's see. Let's get into the comments for a second, see if we got any questions. Did you forget mine and Dead Guy's invites? I'm not just the demon, but also oh, that's right. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. He also is covering, since the Joker doesn't actually have any dialogue, he's doing all the laughing and like fighting sound effects. So I don't know if you guys saw Random's Joker clip. I don't know if you guys have you guys seen that? He sent me this audition. He took a panel from The Killing Joke, his monologue from The Killing Joke, and just did it as an audition and sent it to me. So I'm listening to it, and was just like wide-eyed, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, okay.
That's wild.
And I ended up making a short out of that. I made a short video. I was like, can I post this for people? And it was all just an audition to do some laughing in this comic. Because I was like, dude, the Joker doesn't have any lines in this comic at all. It's just laughing and kind of like screaming and sound effects. Still, though, I totally forgot. So thanks for reminding me on that. So it's like, and then we've got Alice. She's newer in the Discord. I met her through Casting Call Club, and I do have to say she is top 3 best voice actors I've worked with, period. She's a heaven send is the best way to put that. Ever since she's kind of joined the casting crew and taking roles, main character anime type of voice, she covered Zatanna and did such a goddamn good job. Like, putting her parts in for the street magic scene was really fun, man, because it was like putting all the little extras lines between, and the way she's sort of just doing this, pick a card, any card, and like the way that Dead Man is bouncing off her dialogue. You get what I mean? Like, he's letting her finish his sentences with the stuff she's saying, like a lot of this stuff is a lot of fun to put together the second time through, because I didn't quite understand the first time, and now I'm taking more time with everybody else's lines and I'm starting to notice the subtleties in the writing. You get how clever they were with the writing in this book. So I'm really excited to get it done, guys. I just feel really bad that the file got, at least the most recent update, got corrupted. But we'll get there. We'll get there. I hope everybody kind of knew that these remasters weren't exactly like high priority. Does that make sense? Like, we'll work on them throughout the year and get them done, but I gotta keep putting like new Alien stuff out or I'm gonna lose money. That's just how it goes. Like, so with these, we're also doing the Aliens Chapter 1 reboot, and that's just been a very slow crawl, you know.
I think I kind of chased you down and forced you into doing this a bit quicker than you wanted to, didn't you? I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry to put pressure on you, man.
No, you should, because it's things like that keeps me remembering. Because I'll forget, man. I'll start editing 20 other things, and
yeah, I didn't know you had all that though. I would have.
And this is important to me. I want to get this done because everybody's work is so good. It gets me excited as I'm putting it together, and it's like, man, if I could just get part 1 done, that buys me a couple months to work on part 2. You know what I mean? Like, I can get a couple things done and yada yada. Hey, look, B popped up. You heard it. You heard it here, folks. First cast members. We got to stack up our game now.
Right.
Well, I mean, I work with so many first timers, and I don't mind that. You get what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I want. I want to be that place where anybody who wants to try out voice acting, you're more than welcome, unless you're god awful. Like, if it sounds like you're just reading, I'm probably not going to work with you. But if you've got some and you want to try it, be my guest. You know, you can be in my video, take a clip and send it to people for an example for future work or whatever. But with Finbarr being a first timer, Raina had never done it before when we first started working together. And I like the new guys because you guys are like putty. You guys are you'll send a line, you'll be like, let me know if anything needs to be changed. If you need anything different, let me know. And I'm listening to, like, as you're typing that, I'm listening to the first 3, like, this is really good. Don't tell them that though. You got to, don't tell them they're really good. Just like, it's all right.
Yeah, you did that with me. You lighten them up a bit, you said.
You can do a little better. No, I don't actually do that. But the way I kind of see it is with Finbarr, we had discussed it before we even recorded. We kind of went into the character. We discussed some of the background of the character. I wanted his input on what he thinks it should sound like versus what everybody else has heard already. And I remember specifically telling you, like, make it your Constantine. You know what I mean? Like, don't impersonate somebody. Don't go into it thinking he's got to have a Cockney. Do it the way you want to do it, and then we'll go from there.
Well,
and then
I never had anybody I could copy, but I've read Hellblazer or some of it. So, but I felt when I read this story, when I read Damned, he felt darker, especially in the first issue, than what he usually is. He's not that wide old prick that he is in Hellblazer. You know what I mean? If you've read Garth Ennis, especially.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll do him a bit darker than he normally is, because this is like a Black Label book anyways. It's Elseworlds almost. And you came back to me like, no, make him a bit more witty. I went, right, okay.
A bit witty, yeah, because I noticed later in the comic there was a lot of snark. You know what I mean? Yeah, like a lot of sarcasm. And I was like,
But when I did it, when I was doing the first issue, there's not a lot of that in the first issue. And then when I read the second one, I thought, you know what, Dead Guy's right. He becomes a smart ass later on. And I totally forgot all about it all. Especially when he goes to the nightclub, he starts to...
Yeah. Oh, dude, Jesus.
Starts to get a bit more of a smart ass.
And dude, I love the scene too with Zatanna when Batman thinks he's somehow threatening her with violence. You get what I mean? And it just goes to show you Batman doesn't understand this situation at all. And Constantine and Zatanna had already dated, broke up. So they knew each other like very well. And Constantine knew what he had to do to get Zatanna in that mode. You know what I mean? And they were just sort of discussing it with each other. And Batman's like, are you threatening her? And he's just like, dude, calm down, man. It's not what you think it is. Like, I don't know, man. It's a very cool book. And like I said, I didn't know it was Black Label. Well, it's considered Black Label. There's still no Black Label on it. But this was the first. This is what started the entire Black Label series. And you can tell it's a dark story. It's like there's jokes and there's funny stuff happening in there, but really what we're talking about is Batman literally just watched somebody die. You know what I'm saying? And he's basically trying to cope with it, and the Spectre's just eating him alive. You know what I mean? Like he's just like, nah, let's fuck with Batman. Let's fuck with him. He needs to. And really, the Spectre was just curious. You know, like he really wanted to see why Batman chose what he chose. And to me, it's kind of just a cool story because we're not going to get this anywhere else in Batman.
Not
you
to
know,
call
like,
you out as a liar.
what it's on there now?
Well, I don't know. I thought it always was. I was sure it always was.
It's not on my covers.
Right.
It's not on, but I have digital
Maybe it was
copies,
updated.
and maybe my digital copies were original prints.
Maybe. Yeah. It may not have been on the original print, but that is a fairly early version of it.
Well, no shit. Okay. Well, see, I didn't know it was official Black Label because I didn't even think Black Label was out when this came out. But it could have been.
It may have been retroactively added to Black
right
Label.
after. Yeah, they're like, why don't we do more of this? You know, and then at that point they started Black Label, and then they threw the label on there with other prints. I know that my 2 copies that I have a trade paperback copy and each individual issue, and none of those have the Black Label on.
Well, I don't know what you're using to do the motion comic, but yours is formatted slightly different from the one I've got. So maybe this is a reprint that was then retroactively put in a Black Label. I think you've got a very early version then. I can't remember.
Tell you what, I'll send it to you. That way you've got the digital copy and can look through it yourself, look at the differences, you know what I mean, and see, compare, and then let me know. Bianca wants to know if you've lost some weight, Finbarr.
I'm still 220 pounds, Bianca. Thanks anyway. I don't know if she used to think I was a fat bastard, but no, I haven't lost weight.
What are you saying, Bianca? Exactly. You know, we could twist that the tables could turn there. That worm could turn and be like, so are you saying I used to look really fat? Is that what you're saying? I guess saying. Back with Raina though. I know that I had cast you for Enchantress, and it seems like the only projects she's worked with me with are Batman projects. Because she was Talia and Gotham Nocturne, and I felt terrible casting her for that when we got to part 2.
Why?
And part two was one of the single longest monologues I've ever seen in a comic book.
Somebody's got to do it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they got me out of my comfort zone, so I mean, I don't feel bad.
No, I mean, I felt bad because Finbarr, it is 3 pages of bubbles that take up the entire page of her telling Damian Wayne a story about the demon of Gotham.
You want to do voice work?
It's the very beginning of the comic. So I had to tell her, like, look, I can't even go any farther in this till this part's done. No rush. You know what I mean? And I was on top of that. I was like, listen, you're going to have to like quicken up the pace and the way you talk, because it'll be an hour of talking at the beginning of this. And I just felt really bad dumping that kind of workload on people. Like,
don't feel bad.
I mean, you know, we got, full-time jobs, people got lives. And then it's like, hey, could you read all this shit real quick in a Russian accent?
That guy, if they can't do it, they'll say I can't do it. Don't worry, man.
Hey, that's real. You know what? We're at the part where I love this part, and this is the part I'm looking forward to, as a matter of fact, too, because when I talked about it with Alice, I was like, if you can, just read them normally, and I will reverse the how Zatanna, when she does spells, it's reversed. I'll reverse it, post-production. So she actually had to go through and read the backwards words forwards so we could get it the right effect on it. And I'm going to do both. So I'm going to have the reverb kind of build up on the forward and then have it full volume on the reverse. It's going to sound pretty creepy. I'm actually pretty excited to get to this. Let's see. Longer recordings equals longer runtime. I mean, you're absolutely correct, man. That is true.
Yeah.
But longer recordings, longer edit time, longer space between releases. So an example of that would be the Russian. If he was here, he does full long plays for the most part. And there'll be some space between uploads, and he'll usually fill that gap with shorts and, various little short videos. And I don't fuck with that, because every time I put a short out, it ruins my algorithm for 2-3 weeks. Like, my revenue drops, my views drop, nobody pays attention to the shorts I make. I'm like, come on. So I just decide to do issue by issue and break things up into parts to stay more consistent. And I know my fans don't really like that, but you know, I mean, it is true though. They do appreciate the long plays a lot more than the, you know, 15 to 20 minute videos that I put out. But, you know, we were going to do this whole thing as one big project. And now you're starting to see that it would take way too long to edit this full thing all at once in between trying to put weekly or bi-weekly regular issues out of other stuff I'm working on. It's just, it's a lot of work. So what I'd rather do is split this up into a part. But I think you guys, Finbarr, you did all of yours. I think you did the entire series.
Yeah,
I thought I did, but I stopped at the part where right after he kills Harley. Apparently I didn't record anymore after that. So
spoiler alert.
That's on me. I thought I did, but I didn't. But you're done. Raina did all of hers. Alice did all of hers. And then with Random on Intrigan, it's just that one part. He doesn't show up anymore in the comic after that. And the Russian did all of Spectre and Swamp Thing. So it's like, it's pretty much just waiting on me to finish my line.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you gotta go?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Well, thank you for joining us.
See you, Raina. Nice to meet you.
See ya. Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye. And you know what? We can probably trim this down to about an hour. Let me adjust the background here. Oh, we lost the Batman. It was at the end anyway, though, I think, or at least close to the end. So I'm not really that worried about that. And now it's just down to the two main characters, which I was okay with that from the beginning. I remember telling you, I was like, if nobody can show up, we'll do it just me and you, man. I'm good with that. I guess since everybody left, we can get more into this. Are you a Constantine fan? Like, did you grow up reading Hellblazer from Vertigo? And then
I didn't grow up reading it. No, I got into it later on. I got late into it when I was getting into 2000 AD. I don't know if you've read that, any of that. Quite a lot of the British writers who are prominent have went through 2000 AD at one point. So I got into it, reading it when I got into that in the 90s when I was a little bit older. He's not my favorite character. My favorite character is Batman, and always will be. But I like Constantine. I like how he's very morally grey because he's a bit like me, and he's one of these guys who, unlike Batman, he's a very ends justifies the means kind of guy. So, and there's a lot of skeletons and a lot of ghosts following him, which is pretty cool too. So,
and you know, he chooses to live with that. Yeah, like what I've noticed with him is he'll take it.
He carries it. Yeah, he's a lot like me. Like, he's got very good mental resiliency. So I like him. I've always loved the character. But Batman's always number one. You know that. Everybody knows
you
that.
know,
right?
It's okay because I mean, my thing is they are two different characters. They're not even in the same boat. And for me, it was right before the movie because I didn't even know the Keanu movie was coming out. And my fiance's brother at the time was really, really obsessed with comics. So we were just sort of hanging out there and he goes, "Have you read The Walking Dead yet?" And I went, "What?" And he goes, "The Walking Dead. Have you read any of that yet?" And I went, "What is it?" He goes, "It's like a zombie comic series." And I went, "I'm not really into zombie comics." He's like, "Just read it." So he handed me like the first 10 volumes of that and then handed me a whole stack of Hellblazer. And I'd never heard of Constantine at that time, you know, so I didn't even pick up The Walking Dead because I'm like dismissing it. Like, it's zombie comics. Who gives a shit about this, right? Stupid. Little did I know. And I'm sitting there and I started digging into Hellblazer and was just like, this is fucking great. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I'm like reading it with the English accent. And I'm just like, this is fucking cool, man. I really got into it. And then the movie came out and it just sent me in this weird direction. Like it just kind of left a bad taste in my mouth because I was just fresh off the comics, you know, and I was just like, this isn't.
You've really got to separate it. You really have to understand it if you're a big fan of the comics that the movie's going to piss you off. But you've really got to separate it.
I do enjoy the film for what it is.
It's a well-made film. I mean, if it was dog shit, I could easily dismiss it. And I like Keanu Reeves as an actor. I think he's a decent person.
Me too. Actually, all the casting was great. Papa Midnight was fucking perfect. They nailed Papa Midnight. And as far as I'm concerned, Tilda Swanson as Gabriel, like I couldn't have casted that better myself. And they did such a good job at making the angels ambiguous because they should have been. Like you look at them and you're like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I think they did such a good job casting Tilda that way. The way they made her dress and the way they made her fix her hair at first, it was beautiful. The wings and everything. I was just like, this is fucking.
I gotta watch it again. I'm actually hyped for the sequel now that I know that's happening. I didn't know that was happening till Raina mentioned it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard about that. Actually, we did that on a stream because I think Bianca was complaining about Keanu Steen. And right when we went live, I was like, good news, there's a sequel to Keanu Steen coming out. And personally, I enjoyed the film. Like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was if you keep it separate and treat it as an Elseworlds, like you said. Totally acceptable, totally fun. Just wasn't my Constantine. You know what I mean? Like what I wanted. But then the series came out. And I thoroughly enjoyed the series.
I haven't watched a single episode of the series. I should, but
dude, they canceled it.
Though,
so you know what I mean? They canceled that and Swamp Thing, and that was some of the best comic shows we've had out, and they canceled both of them.
Yeah.
So I do suggest watching it, but you are going to get into them and then be disappointed there aren't anymore. You get what I mean? Like, God damn it! And it was cool to see Constantine kind of done right. You know, he had the red tie, white shirt.
Yeah, just no smoking, unfortunately. Right.
I think he smoked. I think
very limited. The guy's a chain smoker, man. So you can't do that.
Fair
right.
Fair enough. You don't want all your shows in India and the UK having that message at the bottom, like smoking is hazardous to your health and drinking is bad for you. I've noticed that they do that over there now. Like, duh.
But the hero does that.
Oh, he's like, I take a dookie once and the panel is shrinking. You flushed and Raina went with it. That's what happened. Yeah, panel's shrinking. I guess we picked a bad time, and I know it's late. It's later where Finbar's at over in the UK, and it's really early in the morning. So I'm assuming some people couldn't make it. And
we'll catch them.
Yeah, and if anybody goes to take another deuce, let me know, because if Finbarr drops out, it's just going to be me here talking. You know what I'm saying? So don't flush. If you go drop a deuce, don't flush. I need Finbarr here. Why don't you tell me a little about what you got going on? Because you had mentioned something, and I know that you guys are working on an indie comic, and I would like to take an opportunity to talk about that a little bit, because it's been in passing for the most part, and I'm very interested.
I don't know how much I've told you about it. Have I mentioned any of it?
You've mentioned that you guys are working on an indie comic.
We've been working. So we're working on a comic called Awesome Amphibian Adventures, starring Frogman, the fabulous Frogman. This is him here. This is cover A for the comic book. This is our cover, and then we've got this one here. I'm trying to get this so my finger points to the right place. Like, I'm trying to do it backwards. The cover B here, drawn by Jimmy Reyes. And then cover C down here. Can you see? I'm
trying. I can't do it.
Cover C down here, drawn by Joe Ball. So we've got that going on. I had to get them to reveal this cover the other day because this was the only one that wasn't revealed, because I knew I was going to be on a camera and it would get revealed here. So we're about halfway through. I'm penciling it. So, and I'm very, very slow because of work. So we're about halfway through. We've got me penciling it. We've got Transylvania Jack from your channel doing the inks, and a guy called Ben Ammett doing the colours, and Tony wrote it.
Frog Tony's starting to make more sense now. Yeah. I didn't know why he switched his name to Frog Tony, but it's all starting to make a bit more sense now. Okay.
To help with that dreaded algorithm as well, I suppose. Oh, this is him. This is the merch. We've got the merch.
You guys got merch?
Yeah, I've got that. I've got the. Hang on. I've got.
Okay, hold on. I like that hat, dude. That's actually pretty pimp. I do like that hat.
A blue one with an inverted frog.
Does it come in black?
I'm getting black, yeah, and a hoodie.
Oh shit!
Yeah, man. We're and if you look on his shop, we're selling a bunch of other shit as well. So we've got merch coming out. We're fucking years for this thing, but comic ain't out yet. It's taken a while. It's taken us about. I think I started this. I think it was January 2024, and maybe December 2023. I started penciling this.
Dude,
thing.
it was last year when I heard about it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And I said to him when he asked me, "How long do you think?" I went, "It's gonna take me about 5 months." that was like a year and 5 months ago. So,
dude, this shit takes time.
Well,
you
don't realize
you got a small team.
Have you? I know you're an artist, right? So do you do books? I am finding it really, really tough to do sequential art. That's why TJ came on board. TJ is helping me big time with getting this looking sequential. I can draw, but I can't draw comic. And this is going to be the only one I do, and I'm stepping off of it and letting a pro come in and do it because it ain't for me. I like doing. I don't mind doing the covers, and I did a trading card for a guy called Richard Embry for his comic Blood and the Sword. I'll have to put a link somewhere for that because it's still up on my comic. So I don't mind doing things like that. We actually sold the original art for that for $1,000. A lot of people don't even. Yeah, some guy bought the pencils to that trading card. $1,000. So
damn.
Yeah, I've been doing some. I mean, this is just a hobby. I'm not trying to make a living off this. Bianca told me, she said, "You're never going to make money off comics, Finbarr." I went, "I don't want to make money off of it. I just want to see my name in lights, you know."
Well, yeah. Bianca's wrong. I mean,
yeah.
Eric July is a prime example. I know a lot of people don't like him, but the dude made
makes
money. A lot of fucking money off of his comic.
His money's starting to sort of.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because he fucked up. He made some mistakes.
He made enough to be able to run away with it. So
at first, and if you have a good plan and a good comic, you can make a lot of money off of this.
Unfortunately, he has neither. But
and then people approaching this. I know we do a lot of interviews with indie comic people, and they all say the same thing. Well, we're not really looking to make a profit. Well, I mean, falls under manifest destiny at this point. Like, if you approach it with that attitude, that's about as much as you're going to get out of it. But if you approach it with, I want to bank this, I want to sell this, I want to make this my job and make money, and you put your ass into it and you got a good story, you can do that. You can make a profit. You can. So I think it's balance, right? Like, it's a balance of approach it, have fun, make sure you're being creative, make sure your story's being told right. Don't worry about making a profit. Don't make that your ultimate goal, but don't dismiss it. Don't be like, well, we're just in it to get the book out.
Well, there is that, but the only other thing I asked of Tony was clearance for merchandise, because I personally believe more people will buy that than will buy that, because there's more of these than there is of them. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pointing at action figures, because I'm looking at getting them done in China as well next year, so I'm going to have a few Frogman action figures up there behind me too. But I think we're going to we'll make some money on this stuff.
Random has a point. Eric neither had a good plan, which he didn't, nor a good comic, which not my cup of tea. I'm not going to say it was a bad comic, just I'm not into that. You know,
it was mediocre. I read it and reviewed it. I did a silly review of it on my channel, but it didn't offend me. It offends a lot of people, but it doesn't offend me. It's just a comic book that exists, and I think the fact that he made a lot of money from it.
Thank you. My thing is maybe it was his marketing. God only knows how it happened the way it happened. My thing is he fucked up. He made some really bad choices. He kind of ripped off some logos and then doubled down on it instead of backing off, which would have been the right choice. And it developed this attitude, this cocky attitude that I get it. If you're successful, that can happen to people. It can happen to people. Yeah. But I couldn't see you being that way. If your guys' comic took off, you guys would still be humble in a way where you'd appreciate the success that it had. You know what I mean?
Me, TJ, and Ben would. Tony, maybe not.
Well, I know that I would not be having this conversation with Tony, because it's like I already witnessed. I've already been there a lot, and now I'm starting to see. I met Ruby through Dazzling Kate, Ruby King. So I'm now starting to see this feud between two streaming people that I just don't watch. So I'm just kind of like, you guys, I don't even understand. And then I'll look and they're still making videos about Eric July. Like, guys, who cares anymore? My thing is you got your own thing going on now. And hopefully you guys can get something other than merch, right? Like, hopefully you guys can get something going on to where me and B can have you and Tony on together, and possibly your artist, interview you guys for the indie comic. I mean, that's kind of what we do.
Yeah.
And I think having a joint interview and then having you guys back on here just for that. I mean, I don't get a big crowd, but what my people tend to on my live streams come back and watch them later, which is particularly odd. You know, like during the live, it's, you know, somewhere around 20, 30 people pop in and out, but usually it'll accumulate 400 to 500 views for the week, which isn't terrible. That's not terrible at all. And the more eyes I could get on your guys' project, you know, that would make me feel like at least I'm pitching in, giving you guys a little bit of boost to help. Because it sounds like a pretty interesting original kind of storyline and like concept. So I'm like, I'm pretty interested.
Well, I love talking about it, and I know Tony loves talking about it as well. But it's a story we believe in. So I've heard the entire. He explained. So what he's done is he's recorded a video with me and TJ, where he explains the entire story from start to finish. In the event that he dies, me and TJ can finish the book, because he's not the healthiest man.
Listen,
his insides are being eaten from the inside out with copious amounts of Monster.
I've got an email set up that if I don't click a certain code every day, the email will get sent out that has my username and password logged into my channel. So basically, like, if I die, the email gets sent out like, you can have the channel. Keep it going, bro. Keep it going.
You got to give yourself a week at least, you know, just in case. Sometimes you go to sleep and don't wake up for 2 days, right?
I missed the code, and then people are panicking, like, "Are you all right?
Dead
Guy's
dead.
Oh God! Hey, at least my art will be worth something now. At least my art will be worth.
Too bad you won't be able to enjoy the fruits.
Eric's best choice he could have done was cash out.
No, not after Isom. After Isom 2 and Alpha Core, there he could have cashed out. But he's going to keep on going. It's the hubris of it all. He's going to keep going until his warehouse drains of him all the money he has, and we're going to be here for the ride. So,
and then we
not
got
a wish failure upon the man, but you can't. You know, somebody's going to self-destruct.
See, I saw just a few small parts of Eric's work. Art was kind of wonky. Man, art gets wonky in indie comics. Like,
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with art.
Unless you're doing like anime or manga style or cartoony, it's gonna get wonky because not every writer or comic creator can afford to pay an artist $1,000 a page to make it look like some Marvel or DC quality. Like, so you settle. You know, like, I'm going to go with this guy. And
there's a lot of assets used. There's a lot of 3D assets and a lot of artifacts left over from fuck-ups from previous, you could see. But, I mean, if you go really scrutinizing it, you'll find that everywhere. But people over-scrutinize this, and they're going to do it to us. When this comes out, they're going to do it to us, and they're going to rip us apart. But it's just about how you handle it.
Well,
handle it like me. Don't take any notice.
That's true. And you know what? I've backed out. Like, I've been working on a script too. I've got 3 issues written out of a 6-issue arc. The rest of the 3 issues are literally noted out and ready to write.
Yeah.
And I just keep getting so discouraged on the level of work and dedication it's going to take to get that first issue done. You get one issue done and nobody backs it. I mean, how discouraging is that? Like, is that just quit forever? Fuck this fucking shit.
Well, I'm at that stage. Before we've even completed it, I am about ready to hang up the pencil. I've had enough.
Damn.
And I will do. If he comes to me and says, "Can you just do a 4-page backup story?" Yeah, cool, I'm in. But 26, 36, 48, nah, no way.
Damn. See, it's
a lot.
And then, you know, with Bianca getting me into doing interviews with indie comic creators, and you get to hear so many different sides. Like, I've met more people that have negative things to say. You know, really, it's more
you're talking to people
watching the financial side of it. People,
you're talking to people that are trying to make a living from it. We don't really need to make a living from it. We're just doing it as a a side gig, but there are people that are really, really trying to make a go of it. And like you say, you get it up there on a crowdfunding website and it fails, and you want to put a fucking gun in your mouth.
That's
You know?
that's exactly what I was getting at. Like, I'm not sure I could handle that. Like, I'm already working my ass off for the channel, like beyond my ass off. Putting that comic out, like, it is a literal crapshoot. And that's what I had somebody ask me, like, so you're pretty familiar with talking to indie comic people about this, that, and the other. What do you think is the best plan? And I'm like, you need to cut corners where you fucking can. Watch that goddamn budget, because he's like, they were asking what would the budget be like for after. And I was like, there is no planning the after. I was like, you're all your planning comes before that goddamn launch. I was like, once you press the launch button, it's fingers crossed, pray, hope that it sells. And I was like, it could be a great comic and your marketing plan sucked. Nobody saw it and you don't make your goal. And if you don't make your goal, your artists aren't getting paid. They're not going to work with you anymore. And having to pay that out of your pocket, I don't know about you, but you're a hardworking guy. You probably got family, you got things you got to pay for. Not a bunch of money just to toss into a fucking project that you hope is going to pay off. So I was like, honestly, man, I was like, it's a big old crapshoot, and it's how bad you want to put this out, really. If it's your ego that wants to hold your own comic, go for it. You know what I mean? Like, go for it. Then you've got it. You've got your copy. But if it's something you want eyes on, you want people to love, and you want to sell it, and you want to keep going with it, you know, then you have to come up with a long-term plan and be ready to take that financial hit. At least from my experience talking to a lot of other creators, is it's coming out of their pocket and they're not making money from it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple. And it's just the passion, the love of telling this story and getting their comic book out there. You guys seem to be in the same boat, to be honest. Hey, Bianca's back. Let's see. Well, he's hiring affordable artists, not good ones. Well, we've just literally discussed that yeah, it's when you're in a position like us, you know, where you're kind of limited on your budget and it's being stretched out, you end up settling for an artist that can get the job done, when really, isn't that the first thing people notice? Is they look right at the artwork in a comic book before they start reading the panels. They're like looking at the art in there. And if the art is a little wonky, you're just instantly going to lose a whole crowd of people. Like, instant. I'm like that. There's 2 Terminator comics out of the series I'm skipping because the artwork makes me gag. Like, there's 2 issues back to back where I'm like, why didn't they get a better artist? Like, I don't even think this is good. Like, this looks like a 15-year-old drew this with the wrong hand. Like, it was like, I don't know why they went with that for the middle of the arc. So I'm literally like, I'm just not going to tell those stories because I don't even want to cut the panels. I don't want to look at that art.
You can go find a kid in art school to do it for you. I even contemplated doing that, just going to art school and finding a kid and go, do you want to draw this thing for me? I'll put my name to it. It's just going to be bored.
Well, I mean,
finishing it.
If the story's great and the writing is really good, the art, I'll use Frank Miller as a prime example of that.
Yeah.
Let's all agree that Frank Miller isn't the greatest artist on the planet. He's
Not
got
anymore.
a
I mean, he went
style.
downhill. Yeah, he went downhill badly. I thought he was okay in the past.
I had some theories. I saw him show up to accept the award for 300, and it looked like he had lost a lot of weight. So I think he got sick. And maybe running cancer. Now, he's still alive. He's still kicking and doing things. But for a while there, I think I was hitting him really hard. And I know that when he put the sequel later, was a few years ago, he did more of Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, he did.
And you could tell everything was just sort of declining. You know, even his storytelling was a little off.
I was buying that when it was coming out, and he took really long to get the 3rd book out of that. I think he was very late. He never turned any DC in time when he was doing Dark Knight Strikes Again. But because Dark Knight Returns was my first book that I ever got. I got the collected edition. And I think a lot of it was he had Klaus Janson inking for him. Maybe that helped.
Yeah.
And then when he did Dark Knight Strikes Again, he did it on his own with his wife, the colorist, and it didn't look anywhere near as good as the original. And then that very recent Black Cat image, have you seen that? The one he did?
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing there.
Well, again, even I grew up reading his Daredevil. That's what got me into Daredevil. And I wasn't crazy about the artwork. I always saw Daredevil as sort of a thin build, you know, like he's a gymnast. He can't his arms couldn't be like this, or he wouldn't be able to reach above his head to grab a fucking he wouldn't even be able to put his hat on by himself. You know what I mean? But the way Frank draws is just his style. And what I appreciated about Frank Miller was his art got the job done. His writing was unfucking believable. Like his storytelling and the way he would arrange his panels, and it's still untouchable. So you've got that. If you got a great writing and a great story, sometimes the art can just get the job done. But I think the problem with indie creators is just getting the job done isn't enough. You have to do something unique. You have to like pop. You have to stand out, because you're competing with Marvel and DC, Image, hell, Dynamite, Boom. You know what I mean? These guys are still putting Thundercats and cool shit out. You know what I mean? So you've got to compete with that. And then on top of that, you have to compete with the millions of other creators that are all kind of telling the same story.
Well, we've got a much more competent artist lined up for the second issue onwards, which I'm looking forward to seeing him come on.
Really?
Yeah, we've got somebody else lined up already. I just hope he's still on board.
At that point, would you guys want to get a different artist for every issue?
No, we want to keep originally the plan was for me to stay on it, but I'm not staying on it. I'll do issue 1 and then step off, and then we bring this new guy on for issue 2 onwards. And then I've said that me and TJ will come off the book and do a giant size issue in slow time in the background, because the giant size one is like it's quite a big story, a lot of action. So we're going to do that on our own in the side while all the regular issues are being done. But that'll take years. That'll probably take about 6 years.
Jesus,
we'll be dead by the time. But it's just a labor of love, Dead Guy. It's not like we need to get it out by a deadline, or like we haven't crowdfunded it. We need, oh no, these people are going to want the money. Nobody's put a penny into it yet. It's just us doing it on the side. And me and TG have both got quite demanding jobs. We've got families, so we're going to take our time. We'll do what we can. But the guy that's coming on is like five days a page. That's what you need.
That's
5 days per page.
Pretty good. And if they're good, that's worth it.
He is good.
That's worth it. Then that's worth the wait. And I mean, are we talking full color?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, we might have to talk about that. That's.
Yeah, I'll
I'm looking.
I don't want to put you onto him in case you steal him, because he's lined up for us.
Oh no, that's not what I meant at all. That's not
right. Okay.
For me, that's the thing. I'm an artist. I can draw.
Yeah.
It's just there's no way I could pump out that amount.
Me neither. I could never do it. Even if I had no job.
Like,
I'm telling you, if I had no job, I would end up just sitting playing PlayStation just to get away from it. Because I cannot focus on it for long periods of time. I'll sit down and start doing a page, and then I'll have to walk away.
So that happened to me.
Yeah.
Sitting and drawing started causing me anxiety. Like I couldn't chill when I was drawing anymore. It was like it wasn't fun. Like I'm over scrutinizing myself. I'm like, this is okay. I feel like my chest is gonna explode. I need to get up and walk away. Then I never come back to it. Like
I think what it is there are people who they love this. They love doing it. And doing a bit of art maybe takes anxiety away for them. But for me, it isn't something I love. I can do it, but I don't love it. You know what I mean? I love playing games and fucking around. I love my job. It's great shooting guns. I just don't like having to sit there and focus, and somebody's going to scrutinize this when I send it to them, and they're going to say, change that, change this. And he's done that, and it's drove me fucking crazy.
I mean, how do we grow though? How do we get better without constructive criticism? But then you get the constructive criticism, you're like, I fucking quit.
But when you're in your mid-40s, what more growing can you do other than outwards? You've done all the growing you're going to do at this age. I remember I had a group of guys scrutinizing one of my drawings on another live stream. I wasn't even there. Tony sent it to them. And I mean,
Random's got a point, dude. Some 90s and early 2000s comic art was really
late 90s.
But yes, it was.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like I'm the only person that's not Comicsgate that doesn't remember, like, where you've got people going 90s comics was the best time for comics. It's like for you. And I was like, you're looking back with nostalgia goggles. because let's talk about how stupid some of those stories got. Like left fucking field. The old Aliens comics were some of the dumbest shit I've ever read. And then people are like, why are you doing all the new Marvel Disney stuff and not the old Dark Horse shit? And I was like, because the old Dark Horse shit is stupid and the new Marvel stuff is kind of good. I was like, what do you want me to answer that question? Like, I don't want to go back that far because late 80s, early 90s, some of the art was good, hit or miss.
Yeah.
And most of the storytelling was so cheese ball factory. Like, you've literally, how many times in this comic has the good guy said, I don't think so, in the middle of a fight? Like 7 times. I counted it. Says it 7 times. So it's like the dialogue was just really kind of bad, and some of the plots were just hokey. Like the X-Men was probably the best 90s series you're gonna have.
Yeah,
because it was dark, it was serious, it was tackling like real social political issues at the time.
and it was genuinely good. It was a good book as well, and I loved the art.
That was Jim Lee. That's when I fell in love with Jim Lee. Oh God, like we could get stuck on that.
It's fantastic.
She's got an hour left, huh? Well, it ended up being a short one. I think we could probably snip this a little shorter since it was most people couldn't show up, and it ended up just being me and you. But we can do this more. And again, like you're now Constantine in our DCDU, which say that 5 times fast. DC dub universe, and then we have the Marvel Comics dub universe. I've been making all this stuff up, and we did take a poll, and everybody, for the most part, voted that they want to reprise their roles. So whenever Constantine pops back up in our DCDU, you are Constantine. So from you just get more practice and more practice to kind of nail that character down. But the way you're speaking now in your normal speaking voice, man, I could use you in some Aliens. Even if it's just like a quick cameo or a character that has a couple lines and dies. The way I see it is that'll allow me to put your link in the description, and be like, hey, and usually my description, like, sub to these people, go to these channels, whether you watch their shit or not, give them that number, show them that support, like the first thing you see.
I don't really mind if I get subs or not. It's not that kind of channel. It's all stolen content.
Well, it's still money, I guess. I don't fucking know. He's like, it doesn't matter.
I'm here for the ride, man. If you say to me, I've got Constantine, 8 pages. This is Sunday. I need it by Monday. Just hit me up. I'll have it done like that.
He's like, hey, I showed up. And you got Bianca trying to figure out who Red Itty is. I was like, it's Red Itty. I don't know.
Bianca's run across Red Itty before.
Yeah, they're new here, and that's all that matters.
I told him where I was going to be, and he showed up for me. He was on our other stream earlier on.
Oh, okay, so good. Then welcome. I like that. That I kind of see that as mini raids in a way. You know what I mean? And that's another thing is I've been really inactive on everybody else's channels, just so busy. And you know how that is. You can't just, if you're in the middle of working or in the middle of editing, I can't just go sit at somebody else's live stream and listen to them talk with a bunch of people because I'm trying to edit audio.
Especially
how the fuck am I going to edit people talking while people are talking? It doesn't make any fucking sense. But I feel bad. I've been wanting to kind of catch up with everybody and spend some time on their channels. So I'm thinking
you can do it well drawn, but I find music's better. I don't know if I can sit and listen to people talk. I like just some music on while I'm drawn. I don't know about you.
Drawing, yes. Yeah. When I'm editing together voice tracks, the hardest thing to do is having a podcast on because you've got 7 people talking at once while I'm trying to edit people talking is really hard.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the first week of next month, I'm going to take a break from editing and make a point to show up to some people's streams and talk in the chats just to say hi and kind of make a presence known.
Well, you came by. I remember you came by when we were doing Anime Hour, me and Bianca, and we appreciated that.
It was a long time ago, and I haven't been to any of your guys's since, and I feel bad about that. And I know that Devin, he's been working with me a lot. He runs a channel and he does like gaming. And last time I popped into his, dude, we ended up having like some pretty intellectual, philosophical conversation, which I really appreciate that, and it all doesn't have to be fun and games, voices, and comic books. Sometimes we can talk serious shit. I don't mind that. I like talking science and all that. So I make a point, maybe the first couple weeks of next month, I'll make it a point to kind of pop around and say hi and get it, at least make the present known. And then we can work on next time having you and Tony and everybody on here and talk about your comic a little bit more, and like maybe tell some story, let us know what some of the synopsis is and show us some artwork and yada yada. Focus on that.
Yeah.
But I guess let's sort of work on the wrap up. What do you got coming up that you would like to share with anybody in the chat?
So I
content.
I appear on Gabbing with Geeks over at Frog Tony's channel most Saturdays. Don't really do much else. I do a wrestling stream as well. I did like the wrestling until I fell out of it. I do that with Aaron World Order over on his channel. I'll maybe get you to drop those links next time for those guys. But outside that, I don't do anything on my own channel other than steal content and make stupid videos.
Hey, Random, he does wrestling content. Random's really into wrestling. He likes that.
Come over.
He likes wrestling. He likes that wrestling. Okay, so yeah, I guess, I already knew that, but anybody in the chat, I guess everybody in the chat already knew that too. Everybody that's been chatting is very familiar with you, or at least you and what you do with Frog Tony. Maybe not Colin, but when is Dead Guy not stoned? I don't look stoned. What the hell are you guys talking about? I'm not even high. What the hell are you guys talking about? This is tobacco, guys. It's tobacco. I don't smoke weed when I have important things to do. These guys, I thought they were talking about you, Finbarr. I was like,
can't touch it. Can't touch this stuff. Random drug tests,
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah, I can't touch it.
AEW over the Fed, WWE all day. I don't even know what any of that means.
Yeah, don't worry about any of that.
I don't know what any of that means. Hey, what's up, Justin? Yeah, sorry, man, you made it a little late. We're getting ready to wrap up. Finbarr, it was a pleasure meeting you and speaking with you face to face finally.
Yeah. Been a long time coming, man.
It's been a long time coming, and I know, trust me, man, after opening the edit to see what got fucked up and what I still had available, because every now and again there's a backup and the backup folder's in a different drive. So I got lucky there. You know what I mean? That I had just opened it because I was putting the song in place and was just opening it to put Martha's lines in. And when I did that, that's when I realized all my files got fucked up because I couldn't find it. So I had to go into the backup folder, and when it loaded, it's about halfway. So, I don't have to start from scratch. But I'm kind of actually excited to, after talking with you guys and having the stream today, I'm excited to kind of just go ahead and hunker down and finish that up, because I know how excited you are is making me excited for it. And you guys don't get to hear what I hear. Yeah, when you're editing, it just becomes old. Like, of course, this is how it sounds. So, and it takes me sitting at the premiere with you guys. I haven't watched the edit in a few days. Like, it's not fresh in my head. And then I sit in the premiere and watch it with you guys. I end up not chatting. Like, I end up 10 minutes into it just watching, like, this is pretty good, man. Like, I'm enjoying this and I made it. All right, cool.
So the only real frame of reference I had was that original Damned version you did. And then when I heard the Black Panther that you guys did, I thought, this is fucking... Some of the voice acting, Thai is Okoye.
Dude, she... I'm sorry, I got to keep correcting myself.
They were all great, right? All of them.
Everybody's really good.
You could, if you needed an Okoye for a replacement for a TV show for a voice, that's the voice.
I plan on working with them a little more. They're very new. Very new. That was their first actual voice acting job.
Very good.
So I've been working with them a little bit here and there in the DMs between issues, pulling a little more out of them. Right. Can I get a little more emotion? Can I get a little more, umph when you're doing this? And we'll see by issue 4 how much you want to bet that character is owned. And just the tone of voice and almost the scratchiness, the rough voice that they have sounds like Guerrera. Like, they could be Michonne in the Walking Dead comics too. Like, I'm just like, you sound like her. Like, I don't know how you did that, but you sound like her. And then Landon, the guy who's T'Challa, that was his first VA job. Z, never done it before, but she's a singer, kind of like this, musician, creative. It all kind of came together. And, you know, like, what am I going to do? You know, I'm kind of looking at it like there's not many roles for me to take in this. It's literally Wakanda. It's a bunch of Africans. You know, I can't just grab one. So I just picked the Magi guy, you know, because I kind of heard him as doing this like piratey Haitian style accent. Give him something different that doesn't sound Wakandan. Water tribe, pirate. I just, you know, kind of put 2 and 2 together there. Almost Jamaican a little. And I figured that would stand out, and I didn't want to have to cast anybody. You know, I was like, if I can get that done, and plus it's my comic, I at least want one part in it. I feel like the music is my favorite part of those edits, man. Like, I'm literally using music from the first Predator and the first one. Yeah. I don't know how I didn't get copyrighted. And then for the second issue, I thought maybe I could lift a couple from Predator 2. So in the third issue, I'm going to use music from Predators and Wakanda Forever. And I'm going to, these are little Easter eggs for people.
Just keep going until you get hit.
Exactly. And dude, I'll upload it. And then if it's like, you got copyright, I'm like, damn it, I'll pull it and then find a like Predator Hunting Grounds video game song or something to put in there. But it's the music I'm having the most fun with those because the voice actors nailed it so well. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to hit them back up. Like, could you redo this line or whatever? Like, they nailed it so well that it's like, I just got to add the same effects from the first one and then just focus on the music. Like, I
was blown away, man. I was like, shit,
I've gotten a lot better, at least as far as sound design goes. So that's why I want to get this done. Like, I think the first one is watchable. You know, for somebody that doesn't know any better, they stumble across Batman Damned. It's a listen and toolable story.
Yeah.
But I think with our team and the way we did it this time, and then with how good I am at editing with the music and sound effects, this is gonna pop. Like, this is gonna be really good. And Nocturne blew up. It got like 4,000 views in the first 3 days. So yeah, and to me that's enough. Like, I'm happy with a couple hundred views. I think this is going to blow up. And I think with everybody that's involved, I'll let you guys know ahead of time, at least a week before the premiere, so everybody can promote. You guys can share it with your community. I'll share it with mine. We'll bounce it around, get as many people at that premiere as we can. Show off. Because, dude, you wait till you hear it. Just wait till you hear it. And I'll send you a clip.
Believe me, when we get our 200 viewers, I'm going to be dropping it. You trust me.
Cool.
Dropping it right into the chat.
I'll send you a clip of our little back and forth at that church scene, and you'll get the flavor and be like, oh, okay, this is gonna be really good. All right, guys. I guess we're gonna work on the wrap up. If anybody has any quick questions, throw them out there. You guys are all familiar with Finbarr and where he comes from, so you guys follow along. Check the description after this is over to drop in there if you guys want to give him a sub. Man, it'll be a pleasure. It'll be a pleasure to have you back. You get with your crew and drop some hints about coming on and talking about that comic. See if they're interested. I don't see why they wouldn't be. And we'll work that out maybe next month after, something like that. Give you guys some time to pull some stuff together.
We'll probably do it maybe closer to crowdfund time.
Oh, okay.
I think we're quite a way off yet. I think we're looking at maybe Christmas.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's the big revenue days too. I used to take breaks and then I didn't realize that you make the most revenue through October and December, and I'm like breaking the whole time. No wonder I'm losing money.
Well, let's hope we don't miss it then, like we've missed the last 2.
No, dude, I took a break from November to January and then looked it up and was like, yeah, you took a break through the biggest revenue months of the year. And I went, oh, I'm an idiot. That's why I do things wrong. That's how I do things.
How you learn,
guys. We're going to head out. Everybody, thank you for at least popping in and talking to us for a little bit. We will be live next week, or not next week, in a couple of weeks for next month. We do 2 a month. I think next week we're going to have Blizzy from the Heroes of Chaos. I've been working with them doing some sound design, so I'd like to have a bunch of their voice talent and crew on and let them show off what they've been working on. They do a lot of Dynasty Warriors original fan content, and kind of been doing their sound effects and music and stuff to help them out a little bit. And I gotta admit, man, it wasn't stuff I was into, but after putting it all together,
no, you are.
There's some talent involved with these guys, so I'm pretty excited. So I'll let you guys know about that, and I've got some series coming out that you guys are going to be pretty excited about. We got some secret series coming out, and I just got a copy of the new Spider-Man Wolverine by the way. And that's coming out very shortly. I'm doing that by myself. But anyway, enough's enough. Finbarr, thank you. I appreciate you coming on and talking with me, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. Everybody in the chat, thank you. We appreciate you for coming and talking with us. No problem for being late, Justin. You can always scroll back and watch this anytime, brother. Until the next time, guys, I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Hasta la vista, baby.